Topic: Working capital management. Introduction. Working capital management is the process of planning and controlling the elements of a company's working capital to ensure that it has sufficient liquidity for daily operations. Working capital includes all current assets used to finance short-term liabilities such as cash, accounts receivable, and inventory. 1. Definition of working capital. Working capital is the difference between a company's current assets and current liabilities. It represents the resources available to finance daily operations. Working capital formula. Working capital equals current assets minus current liabilities. Working capital equals current assets minus current liabilities. Current assets. Assets expected to be converted into cash or used up within 1 year, such as cash, accounts receivable, and inventory. Current liabilities. Liabilities that are due for payment within 1 year, such as accounts payable, short-term loans, and other current obligations. 2. Objectives of working capital management. The primary objective of working capital management is to ensure a balance between liquidity and profitability. Specific goals include maintaining liquidity, ensuring that the company has enough cash to meet short-term obligations, optimizing working capital use, managing current assets and liabilities efficiently to avoid waste or shortages, minimizing working capital costs, reducing expenses related to financing working capital, such as interest on short-term loans, maximizing profitability, using working capital efficiently to maximize profits derived from current assets. 3. Components of working capital. Working capital consists of 2 main components: current assets and current liabilities, which can be broken down into subcategories. Current assets: cash, money available for daily operations; accounts receivable, money owed by customers that has not yet been paid; inventory, goods held for sale or raw materials used in production; other current assets, other receivables or assets that are expected to be liquidated soon; current liabilities, accounts payable, debts owed to suppliers for goods and services purchased; taxes payable, short-term tax obligations; short-term loans and other current liabilities, short-term borrowings or other financial obligations due within 1 year. 4. Strategies for working capital management. There are 2 main approaches to working capital management. Conservative strategy. This strategy involves maintaining higher levels of current assets, especially cash and inventory, to ensure that the company has sufficient liquidity. Companies using a conservative strategy tend to have more cash and receivables and keep larger inventories to avoid stockouts. Aggressive strategy. This approach focuses on efficiency and utilizing less capital to finance operations. Companies with an aggressive strategy rely more on short-term debt to finance working capital and maintain lower inventory levels. 5. Measuring working capital efficiency. Several financial ratios are used to evaluate how efficiently a company is managing its working capital. Current ratio. Current ratio equals current assets, current liabilities. Current ratio equals current liabilities, current assets. This ratio measures a company's ability to pay its short-term liabilities with its short-term assets. An ideal ratio is generally above 1. Quick ratio. Quick ratio equals current assets minus inventory, current liabilities. Quick ratio equals current liabilities, current assets minus inventory. This ratio provides a more conservative measure by excluding inventory, which may not always be easily liquidated. Receivables turnover. Receivables turnover equals net sales, average accounts, minus inventory, current liabilities. Quick ratio equals current liabilities, current assets minus inventory. This ratio provides a more conservative measure by excluding inventory, which may not always be easily liquidated. Receivables turnover. Receivables turnover equals net sales, average accounts receivable. Receivables turnover equals average accounts receivable, net sales. This ratio measures how quickly a company collects its receivables from customers. Invento.